Welcome, everybody, or should I say, all aboard the Analyst desk. It is I, Jacob Moore, the self-proclaimed sports analyst, joined by Mr. Lee Dashig Dusko.
That's me. Woohoo!
And the man with so many crazy takes, he makes us wanna scream, Mr. Moore for your money. Woo! Hey guys, we got a big show today. We're going to talk some NFL. We're going to get into the Blue Jays, CFL playoffs.
Oh, not them again. I just got better.
Leafs drama because, well, as they said on a phenomenal show called Sister Wives, we love to create drama that doesn't exist. Going to talk some Edmonton Elks and whatever else hits our noggins.
Ottawa Red Blacks.
Maybe we'll get into some Red Blacks talk, Dan. You never know. You never know what's at the desk until you sit your butt down at the chair. So, I think the biggest story right now in the NFL is what, Dan?
Standing decks.
I don't like standing desks.
I don't like them either, but we do exist.
Well, I'm very glad you interrupted me just to inform me that standing desks exist. Thank you very much, Dan.
You're welcome. No problem.
But like, that, number one, that just proves how boring this week of NFL was if you talk about the actual games, that Dan just wants to talk about standing desks. But we do have to talk about the Giants. I think their season's done with losing Scadabouche for what looked like for the year. He's not coming back anytime soon from that ankle injury. It's gruesome. His foot is literally on a 90-degree angle going the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
It is like Chad Kelly level bad. And as soon as Jackson Dart saw the injury, he screamed profanity, and I'm not going to scream at the desk, but it's not good. So it looks like he's done for the year. And I'm calling it right now. I don't know if you boys agree with me. I don't really feel the Giants are a team that can win without a solid running game. I don't think
totally
Jackson Dart, yes, was a big part of the turnaround, but I honestly think it was between Dart and Scadabouche that made the difference. And like they got beat by the Eagles by 18. They're now 2-6. They don't have their young stud running back. The Tracy Jr. who came in didn't have a great game.
Yeah,
I think
I
I think the Giants season is now officially over. I don't see them recovering from this.
I agree. 2-6 is a hard record to crawl back out of, right? I mean, think about already close to halfway done the NFL season already, right?
But not quite.
Well, what? 18 games in a year, right? This is week 2 and 6. This week 8. I mean, halfway is week 9.
A lot of people have had buys. I don't think most people haven't played 7 games yet.
True, but I'm just saying there's one situation.
We're about 40% through the year. We'll go with that.
Okay.
So I think for the Giants, they're in a lot of trouble. I think the Eagles shut up a lot of critics, and I think Saquon Barkley decided to become the MVP running back again. 14 carries, 150 yards, and a TD. So great job for the Eagles, but I could honestly, I truly feel bad for the Giants. It felt like they were starting to build some momentum between Jackson and Scadabouche. I thought they really had a really good 1-2 tandem between Jackson Dart, and it just, I think Jackson Dart has been playing well. I think for a rookie quarterback, he's playing excellent. He looks a lot better than JJ McCarthy did in his first 8 quarters.
Yeah, that's
but
for sure.
Wow. I just, even if this team was sitting at we'll say they were 4-4.
Yeah,
I'd maybe even say, look, maybe they can figure out a way, but I just don't see it, unfortunately, with this injury.
No, unfortunately not. It's too bad to see. I personally hate the Giants, so I'm okay with it. But, sadly, Giant fans out there. But, hey, I'm happy for the Philadelphia Eagles because I've seen a lot of hate out there. People saying the Eagles are not the real deal. I think the Eagles are really good. We're 6-2, and you know what? I think regardless if they win by Hurst falling a ball or Saquon Barkley winning ball, who cares? A win is a win.
Well, they got to be happy with that last game. Hurst also had 4 touchdowns through the air. So
that's what I mean. It was the first game of the year, I think, with both Hurst and Barkley played really well. It's usually either one way or the other, right? In this game, it's they both played well. Well, that's why they doubled up the score practically, right?
But let's be honest. This week is the week of the blowouts. So
no, you had one tight game. You had the game of Bengals and Jets, 39-38.
Yeah, the Jets finally
get a win after the owner calls out Justin Fields. But right after the owner calls out Justin Fields, basically saying, "LOL, you trash."
Yeah, literally.
He goes out and gets a win. But Dan, besides of that game, I want to read you the rest of the scores.
Yeah.
Dolphins beat the Falcons 34-10. Ravens beat the Bears, which shocked me 30-16.
Why that shock you?
Because the Bears have actually been looking good of late.
Yeah,
Ravens
but
have been awful.
The Ravens are like Super Bowl contenders.
They're 2-5, Dan. They're not a Super Bowl contender.
Okay, maybe not so far.
The Bears going into this game, Dan, were 4-2.
Ravens are like the Winnipeg Jets. If they make the playoffs, they got Henry and Jackson. They got to do something.
Jackson's not playing right now.
Lamar Jackson's not even playing right now, bud.
That's
but
right.
still, 2-score game. Bills destroyed the Panthers, which I think they really needed this win, with James Cook running for over 216 yards and 2 TDs on 19 carries. That was the James Cook game. Josh Allen only had to complete 12 passes to win this game. 21 points in the third quarter. Complete dominance by the Bills. Then we had the Texans beat the 49ers 26-15. I got to say, the 49ers, I'm surprised that with Mac Jones and the amount of injuries they've been having this season, that they're managing to at least either win games or beat in them. They now dropped to 5-3. But with all the injuries, I think you're pretty happy with the 49ers at a 5-3 record.
100%. Well,
and then you have the Patriots, who I'm absolutely stunned about. Yeah. I mean, not stunned that they beat the Browns, but I'm stunned that they're currently leading the division over the Bills right now, because Drake May is just playing at a really high level.
Yeah, no one had that on a bingo card, that's for sure.
But with that loss for the Browns, this brings us to our first gas or ass of the episode.
Wow. Oh, can't see you,
John Cena.
I can't see him.
I just wanted to stop in and say my football team's the best football team ever. We're winning the Super Bowl. Let's go, Patriots! Woohoo! I gotta go do wrestling now, so see you later. They can't see me. Bye.
But for the gas or ass of the day, or of the segment, should the Browns just swallow the pride and give Shedeur Sanders a shot?
Yes.
I think it's 100% gas. I look at this team and Gabriel completing 21 passes for only 156 yards, so it's all checkdowns. He did get 2 TDs, but also had 2 interceptions. The Browns are 2-6. You have nothing to lose. Let's see if you got a steal in the 4th round or not. And if you did, and let's say you don't like him, then trade him to the Dolphins so they can build around him. Like if you don't like the player and you don't want him, that's fine. But then number 1, why'd you draft him?
Yeah.
And number 2, then let's just make a move and move on with our lives. But I think this is the ultimate time to give him a shot. Because sometimes, too, quarterbacks who you don't think are that great turn out to be superstars. Look at Baker Mayfield with the Buccaneers. Everyone said he was garbage. I think he could win MVP this year.
Well, as much as a lot of people don't like him, look at Tom Brady. He was drafted very low, and he became to be the best quarterback of all time. Deflated balls or not, he still won the most Super Bowls.
I guess the FBI needed to investigate that too. But, but I think it is time for the Browns. They got to make a change. And you know what? You traded Joe Flacco, who, even though Flacco lost this week, played another really solid game, and the offense put up 38 points. Offense is not the problem for the Bengals. And look, it's just one of those things. I think the Browns, you have nothing to lose. Let's see what you got in that quarterback room and give Shedeur Sanders either give him a look or trade him.
Good,
either get rid of him in the background saying that he's the best quarterback in the room, or let him put his money where his mouth is, even though he's not making much, and seeing what he can do. That's kind of my 2 cents on it.
Yeah. Speaking of not making much money, just for fun, you know, Trey Usapa's only made $57,000 this year.
Yes, because he started off as a single A player, bud.
I know, but go from $57,000 against a pitcher is making $300 million is pretty crazy. Like, look, there's no salary cap in baseball, right? So you can pay players as much or as little as you want.
That's going to change with a lockout impending, I think, in the MLB.
Yeah, I think it's coming, unfortunately. I hope it doesn't, but is that this offseason or next offseason?
I believe next offseason.
I think it's next offseason too, yeah.
But again, through the rest of this, back through the blowouts, Buccaneers destroyed the Saints 23-3. Colts destroy the Titans. Maybe they need the Titans from the We Are the Titans movie, you know, that awesome football movie about inclusivity, because the Titans got their butt kicked 38-14. Danny Dimes is turning out to be a potential MVP candidate as well.
We got to talk about the Colts. They're the best team in the league right now, is 7-1. No one had to have their big old cards going into the season.
And Daniel Jones again, 21 for 29, 273 and 3 TDs. Which is opening up the run game so much. This just goes to show when one quarterback doesn't work out somewhere, it doesn't mean they're bad.
For sure.
You wonder how Giants fans are feeling right now, anyways, watching Jones do what he's doing.
Yeah,
like, how would you feel about that? It's probably going to be what Leaf fans are going to feel like when Marner puts up 115 points in Vegas.
Oh, boy.
115.
If he does. But I don't think he will. But I'm just saying, Daniel Jones went from being a scrub to arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. The Colts are dominant. The Colts are probably Super Bowl contenders right now.
I think this year is no questions asked that Josh Allen's the best quarterback. I understand the Bills.
No, it's not, actually. I think it's either Baker Mayfield or Daniel Jones.
Wow.
These guys are playing at a really high level. Dan, did you honestly think the Colts are going to be 7-1?
No, I did not see that.
I think that is more impressive than the Bills doing what everyone thought the Bills would do.
I understand that from a team record aspect.
Josh Allen so far is not the best player in the league this year.
But he is, because of all the trick plays he does, all the specialty plays.
I don't care. I care about
Matt
wins.
Jones is kind of more conventional football. Josh Allen
doesn't matter. He's winning. He's winning.
What do you think, Mr. Lane? You're kind of quiet on this one.
I'm with Jacob on this one. At least he's winning.
Yeah, for sure. That's interesting.
Like, Dan, Josh Allen is a great quarterback, but up to his standards, the last 2 weeks weren't great.
Okay, Connor McDavid only has 1 goal this year so far. Can't we all say he's still the best player in the league?
No.
Offensively?
No.
Most
right?
talented?
I still say Sidney Crosby is a better player than Connor McDavid.
Okay, I agree with that, you too. But I'm just saying...
And right now, no, Dan, you cannot say Connor McDavid's the best player in the NHL and he's not playing like it.
But
you told me Austin Matthews could not be the best goal scorer in the NHL because he only scored 69 goals 1 year, and then the next year he didn't score nearly as many. So you can't say Connor McDavid is the best offensive player in the NHL when statistically he hasn't been the last couple of years. It's been Kucherov, and I don't even like Kucherov. I can't stand him.
Oh, I love Kucherov.
I don't like him. He's a terrible example for the NHL. He's disrespectful. He doesn't try half the time. But he's the best player in the NHL when it comes to a pure skill level.
Yeah, but don't you think you have more credit for doing that as a center versus a winger?
Doesn't matter, in my opinion.
I don't know. I'm not saying right now Connor McDavid is the best player in the league, but I'm saying going into this offseason, we would all agree that Connor McDavid is the best offensive player. And that's what I'm saying about
Josh I don't think we would. I think some people would argue Kucherov is better.
But going into the season, we all say he was by far the most talented quarterback.
No, a lot of people would have argued with you it was Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson.
Patrick Mahomes is washed up.
He's not washed up, Dan. Now that they have some receivers, the Chiefs are starting to look like a World Series contender. You know what it is?
Good again. I get that.
You know what it is? Dan is just trying to hope that we'll not notice that at the moment of our recording, the Steelers are getting their butt kicked and Aaron Rodgers is playing like poop.
Well, that is the truth. I was hoping you weren't going to notice. So
currently, it's as we're recording, it's 32-19 with 4 minutes left in the fourth. So more than the Steelers have no timeouts. This game's done. Green Bay's got the ball.
Yeah, for sure.
Jordan Love's 29 for 37 at the moment, 360 yards and 3 TDs, while Aaron Rodgers is 151 and 1 TD, 17 for 27.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers went on and on. I play better when I'm motivated. You think he'd be motivated to play the Packers, but apparently that's not motivation. That's what I've said about Aaron Rodgers. He's all about me, not the team.
He's like that song. I want to talk about me. Want to talk about
Toby Keith,
number one on my me, my what I think, what I like, what I know, what I want, what I say. Oh, talk about you usually, but occasionally I want to talk about me.
Me. Me.
Except Aaron Rodgers is always about himself. He's arguing with his team. He's arguing with teammates on the sidelines over celebrations. You watch, the Steelers are currently 4-2, going to be 4-3 very soon.
In like 4 minutes.
Mark my words. Mark this down at the 15:33 point of the show, so we can cut it later and I can post it in a month when I'm right, or 2 months. The Steelers by Christmas will be an under 500 club, and they'll be looking outside of the playoffs.
Trying to write this down, but you're going too fast.
Ouch.
The Steelers will be outside of the playoffs.
Ouch.
I'm going to write this down in my notepad when it opens my application.
And I'm calling it because I think this is the start of the Aaron Rodgers downfall.
Jacob says...
Which you could argue it started when he got outplayed by Joe Flacco.
Steelers.
Joe Flacco's pretty good, though.
He's in his 40s as well.
I know, but he's a good quarterback. There's no denying that.
But Aaron Rodgers should have been able to mop the floor with a 40-year-old who just got there.
No, Joe Flacco is just as good as Aaron Rodgers.
Joe Flacco right now is better than Aaron Rodgers.
Well, where are they going to be? Sorry, I have to write this down. Will be
under
where?
500.
By Christmas, under 500.
Under 500 at Santa Claus Day.
Oh!
Okay.
Kind of close out the rest of the week so far. The Broncos doubled up the Cowboys.
Minute mark.
That's sad to see.
And honestly, too, the Cowboys, man, this team, I don't know what needs to happen if they need to. I honestly think they need a new owner because there's just way too much controversy. And don't get me wrong, like the Broncos and Bo Nix, this Bronco team's the real deal at 6-2. Bo Nix, 19 for 29. 247, 4 touchdowns to just 1 interception. Like, this Broncos team's the real deal. The best comeback in NFL history last week, and then you double up the Cowboys this week. Like, this team's the real deal.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think the Cowboys need a new owner. I think the Cowboys...
You just like him to the helicopter.
Oh, for sure, but let me finish. I think the Cowboys need someone else to take the spotlight. I think Jones is his name, right? I think Jones needs to take a little bit of a step back. He is up in his 80s, right? I think he still owns the team, but I think he should get someone like what Brandon Shanahan did for the Leafs. Not that he did a good job at it, but I think he needs someone to manage his team. Like, don't forget, Dallas Cowboys, kind of interesting move what Jones has done and no one's talking about, so we'll talk about here. He's actually the first NFL owner to invest in an esports team. And he has a full esports team practice and play games at the same training facility as the Dallas Cowboys do. So I think it's very unique that Mr. Jones is diversifying his fortune in different ownership. And I think maybe that's why sometimes he gets tied up in the football community, because he doesn't just own Dallas Cowboys. I'm sure he owns plenty of real estate too. He owns a helicopter. He's living the life. He's up in his 80s. Like, he served his time. I think it's great that they had an owner so involved. But guess what? You've had owners involved over many long years, and now it's not working. So don't sell the team, but take a back seat, enjoy life, worry about getting investments, and let someone else run the NFL team. Really? Dead silence?
I mean, sure. I just think as long as he's there, I think he's going to be a problem. Lane wants to show us something. The worst point differentials in the NFL.
Like
the Titans 100 minus 120? Oh my gosh.
I would have been the Jets. Like, the Jets only at minus 53. I thought the Jets would have been the worst.
120. I mean, the Saints too at 81 is like.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
Gosh, all of a sudden the Dolphins and Giants look like a good football club.
For Bengals, I think it's for defense because they're scoring a lot.
Well, they're scoring a lot now that they brought in old man Flacco.
That's insane.
But wow,
wow, that's sad.
They need the movie. They need Coach Yost to run that defense.
Giants, not surprised about that.
I wish I had all the teams. I thought there was going to be more of the team, but
it's okay.
But you know what? You're not going to be good with that kind of point differential. But we also still have one more game in the NFL.
Monday Night Football.
On Monday between the Commanders and the Chiefs. Commanders 3-4, Chiefs 4-3. I think this should be a good game to hopefully salvage a real bad week of NFL football.
Oh, it wasn't that bad.
At the end, almost every game was a blowout. You defend the NFL.
Oh, half the fans will be very happy.
You defend the NFL way too much.
Blew out LA 11-4. Were we all complaining? No.
One fan base is happy, but on an overall, was that a good World Series game? No, it wasn't. It was very one-sided. You could argue on a pure baseball perspective, Game 2 was a more interesting game if you're not invested either side.
Yeah, but I felt it was sweet, but it was boring.
Well,
I love it, but I'm just saying, let's be honest here.
I'm going to say it's
not an exciting game.
Since we've kind of rotated over to baseball here, I'm going to say if it wasn't the World Series, I probably would have continued watching the CFL instead, because that game between the Riders and Lions, every time I flipped it over, something crazy was happening, and then I flip over to the World Series game, and it was a great pitching duel if you're really into pitching,
right?
Between Yamamoto and Gausman. I actually felt for Gausman because Gausman's out there blaming himself. And I thought Gausman had a good game. Yes, he allowed 3 runs.
He's played well, and he's lost both of them.
But I look at it, the Jays' bats need to wake up more. But an interesting little...
We forgot our prediction on Monday Night Football, though.
Okay, fine, Dan. Since you like to screw up the whole flow, what's your prediction on Monday night?
Washington's going to win.
Lane, since Dan's already mucked up the flow.
Oh, Chiefs, 100%.
I'm also saying Chiefs as much as I don't like them.
Ooh.
I don't think the Commanders look very commanding this year.
I think
with an inconsistent Jayden Daniels, they're just not really doing what I want them to do.
Let's go back to Jacob's flow.
Well, I do have all the teams. If we want to take a look at them quickly, I did find a list where we can look at all the teams. Bears are -17. The Cardinals are -1. It's actually not bad, even though they have a losing record.
Yeah.
5, but
which means they're losing a lot of close games, so maybe they're kind of starting maybe not this year, but maybe next year they'll start to turn the page.
Packers are +33, which is
Lions +64.
Crazy. Rams +58. The Eagles +23, yeah. Hey, Colts +116.
That's what I said, Dan. Yeah, the Bills are doing well, but the Colts and Daniel Jones are the best football team in the NFL right now. And it's not even
I get that. I'm just saying Josh Allen's still the best quarterback.
No, he's not. Right now, it's Daniel Jones. Or it's Actually, I would say right now, personally, I think it's Baker Mayfield.
He is looking really good. I gotta give him
so many game-winning drives. He's literally a tank. He headbutts people with no helmet on. The guy's nuts. But he's clearly the best quarterback in the NFL right now. And if I was making a vote for MVP today, my vote would go to Baker Mayfield.
For sure.
I think mine would go Cook.
He's not going to go to a running. He's not good. Number one, I don't know why they just don't do best quarterback award and best running back award in football.
I think they should, yeah.
But you know what I do want to talk about?
The baseballs as we start talking about it.
Some
Jacob's nice flow.
Breaking news.
Ooh.
Do you know what that breaking news is?
No, I don't. You haven't told me yet.
Well, you're going to find out.
Oh, good.
Are you excited?
Yes!
Bo Bichette is expected to play Game 3 of the World Series.
I'm not surprised with that breaking news.
Well, a lot of people didn't think he was going to play because he wasn't very effective in Game 2 in the minimal action he got, and he looked slow.
Yeah, but he
looked good in Game 1. So
he was a big part in Game 1. This is do or die. Yeah, and he's fighting a little contract. Yeah, I think this is the right move. He'll have the whole offseason to rest up.
Look, I'm going to be honest. If Bichette doesn't kind of pick up this play in the World Series, you are going to question if you bring him back or not.
I hate to say it, but yeah.
Because kind of Falefa's done a really nice job between him and Jimenez handling second base and shortstop. And you could use the money you're going to spend on Bichette to maybe bring in, because this is probably Max Scherzer's last year. Not that I want to talk too much of the offseason now for the Jays, but that's got to be running through the back of Bichette and the team's mind. But I'm curious what you guys think, and these are kind of some things I think the Jays need to bounce back.
Yeah.
I felt watching Game 2, they were aiming for a dinger every swing. Let's just get back to getting some hits.
I agree.
And less about worrying about the home runs every at-bat. And I really think Max Scherzer needs another good performance. I'm not saying he needs to go with Kevin Gausman 7 and a bit innings, but I think if you can get maybe a Trey Savage 4 to 5 bend but don't break performance out of Max Scherzer, I think it puts the Jays in a position to be successful in Game 3. And I'm going to say, I really feel out of Game 3, 4, and 5, they just got to find a way to win one of them. And I really hope it's either Game 3 or 4. Because I don't think it's going to be tough to beat the Dodgers 3 straight. But I think if you can win Game 3 or Game 4, I think you're putting yourself in a position to at least, you just got to win at home. And I know it's tough to beat the Dodgers, but getting a split and coming into Game 3 is not the worst thing you could have got. In the first game, you blew them out. Second game, it was relatively close until the 7th and 8th inning. Lane, it was close until the 7th or 8th inning. You can't deny that.
No, I disagree with you on one thing, though. They got to win 2. They got to win 2. 100%.
You think they got to win 2 out of 3 in LA?
Yeah, 100%.
I disagree with you because the whole point of having home field, even though the way they have this home field set up in the MLB is completely ridiculous, is if you win one of those 3 when you split at home, you just got to win at home.
Right, but you're going to face Yabanomo in Game 7, and he's the greatest pitcher of all time.
Yeah,
but the Jays are now going to face him for a second time. And remember, that was the first time the Jays had faced him all year. Now they faced him. It's going to be easier to go on him again. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. Facts don't care about your feelings, as the conservatives Dan likes to say.
You told me not to talk about politics, but okay. I think the one thing that you missed out, Jacob, that's very important, I mentioned in the live show, is that instead of hitting home runs, instead of Roybal getting on base, just hit the ball. Foul every single ball you get. The Dodgers bullpen is not nearly as good as the Jays bullpen, which is shocking to me, but we found that out after Game 1. So foul every single ball. One out the LA starting pitcher in the 4th or 5th inning. Get the bullpen in early. I think you got a chance to win. It's even Game 1, as much as a blowout as it was. First starter played incredible. Flew over 100 pitches. And the big blow-up didn't happen until, the 6th inning, 7th inning, when the bullpen got in. Get that bullpen in early. That's how you win the game. Don't worry about hitting home runs. Worry about hitting the ball.
No, but Dan, you also have to hit strategically because you don't want to be hitting a bunch of ground outs and putting yourself in a bad situation.
I'm not saying do that either, but I'm just saying if the big dinger's not there, just hit every ball.
Hit the ball. Hit the ball. Hit the ball.
Speaking of music, everyone, little hint. Do you all like talking about music? We're just talking about Toby Keith earlier. Is that something you want to see us talk about music on the decks? If that's so, you can email us right at the bottom of the key there. Appetite. Comment, I should say, on a live show. Rest in peace to Toby Keith, great legendary country singer. Probably one of my favorite singers of all time. I'm not a country guy, but wow.
Yeah.
But I'm absolutely, if music is something you want us talking more about, then send us a message, slide into our DMs, and let us know.
Lane had a great idea of music there, so hopefully we can do it soon.
But I do want to know, boys, what's the confidence level for the Jays right now? I still say Jays in 7. It was my prediction from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Lane, you've had a little more time to become less grumpy Dashco.
I would say more sad than grumpy.
What's your prediction? How confident are you the Jays can still get this done? Give me a percentage number.
7%.
7.
6, 7. What about you, Mr. Moore?
Well, you know what? I've been confident since March. I said back in March in Florida training camp, his team was going to get 98 wins. There were only 4 wins behind that prediction, and everyone laughed at me. I said Vladdy was going to sign back in Toronto back in March during the season, and everyone laughed at me. I said they would win the division, and everyone laughed at me. I said they would win the playoff series against the Yankees, and everyone laughed at me. So I'm going to stay positive still. I think the Jays in 7, and percentage of Jays winning still, I would say 68%.
wouldn't go with a great number. Very disappointed in you, Dan.
I know. That's why I wanted to do 60.
I'm sticking with 50-50 because I really went back and forth and I was making my predictions if I was going to pick the Jays or the Dodgers, but I decided to be a proper Canadian and pick the Jays.
I mean,
I still feel
are a
right
great
now
team.
it's 50-50. The series is tied at 1. They're going back to LA. This Jays team is a good comeback team, and they realistically, in my opinion, need to win 1 out of 3 in LA to have a good chance of winning a World Series. So
I
I'm still
almost
at
said 50-50, but that'd be too boring. That's why I came with number 68.
Well, I decided to actually be able to back up my point, Mr. Moore, So for your number, Dan.
Well, I'm here to say crazy takes, as you don't. Okay, here's an idea, folks. Since I'm here to say crazy takes, I had an idea in class. Since I'm taking sports and entertainment marketing in school, we're talking about doing events at different venues. So one of my ideas was putting a baseball game on the roof. Do we think that's a good idea, everybody?
No.
Ass.
Okay, but I'm asking the viewers. I want to see what they think. You think a baseball game on the roof? I think it'd be so cool to be closer to the stars, closer to the sky. Imagine Vladdy hitting a 400 feet like home run, and it's like going out to like space. Well, not space, literally, but it looked like it'd be going out to space. I think it'd be a really amazing thing to put a baseball game on the roof. I'm not saying you can fit like 40,000 people on the roof to watch it, but even play the game and just televise it, right? Baseball game on the
guys,
roof.
we have an achievement here.
Oh,
that might be Dan's dumbest take he's ever said at the desk, but that's okay, Mr. Moore. You know,
and shout out to my friend Pierce, who's in my class. Well, we play a baseball game on the roof to entertain the kids at petting zoo.
Now I'm just picturing a bunch of goats running off the roof. That's a bad idea. But you know what is a great idea? The CFL Power Rankings with a different twist.
Oh, the volume wasn't deafening. Was that the twist?
No.
Oh.
Instead of doing my usual power rankings, I want to go around who is the best team in the regular season power ranking. Overall, don't think about records. I just want you to think about the overall football team. Who is the number 1 team in the Canadian Football League going into the playoffs?
BC Lions, 100%.
Lane's going BC. Dan, who are you going?
I hate to say this. This makes me really upset to say this. But I've been saying it all summer. I think this is the year. I think it feels like 1999. I'm saying Hamilton Tiger Cats.
BC's better.
And you know what?
Better.
I'm going to give the boring take. And it is the team with the best record, and it is the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
I was going to say that.
Hold on. Okay, fine. I will give myself...
Hi, Cats, bro.
But let me back it up.
Okay.
Even the Riders with their backups are almost winning football games.
Yeah.
Their practice roster is almost beating playoff teams. I want you to think about that.
Yeah.
They gave the BC Lions everything they had, and Trevor Harris and AJ Ouellette played a quarter and a half.
Yeah.
And they almost beat the Lions. I think if the starters stayed in, I think the Riders probably beat the Lions in that game. For me, the Lions are certainly the second best team. Dan, I think you're totally out to lunch putting Hamilton at number 1. Hamilton's the best team in the East right now, because I do honestly think Hamilton is a little better than Montreal, just because I think Hamilton is finding ways to make the big play at the right time. But I think out of all the teams in the playoffs right now, I think it's a toss-up between BC and Saskatchewan. Lane, I totally get why you're saying BC, though, because as much as we've all admitted it, we're not the biggest fans of the bloke, but Nathan Rourke right now is playing at such a high level that and the way, this BC defense is playing at the other side of the ball, Lane, I can see your point, but you saying the Lions are going to be really hard to stop.
For sure.
I was going to say Calgary, actually, but my only problem with Calgary is VA's dip and confidence during the season. Now that could almost be as a turning point as like the team facing adversity. But when VA had his little dip there, the team did suffer quite a bit, which kind of surprised me because I thought the team was even good without VA, but apparently not. So for that reason,
mind you, I still think that PJ Walker is not as bad as you think he is. I actually am excited to see him get more reps in the future in the CFL.
But I'm talking right now. I think right now, Hamilton, I just have a vibe about them. You know, they just have that almost like for Jays this year. They just have that vibe with them. They have that winning culture with them.
Sure.
You know, you go to the Ticast Stadium as Aussies like a party, like they're walking it out. They have that swagger, the fans and everything. I don't know. I don't know why. I hate to admit that I'm not a Ticast fan at all. But it just looks really good.
Lose your mind. We don't want to see you shake that. Anyways, you said party. So now let's flip it. Out of all the playoff teams, who would be in the basement of the power rankings? And I think this is one we can all easily agree on, but I never know with Dan. So Dan, I'm going to let you go first.
Well,
who's the basement? The worst power ranked team in the playoffs going into the playoffs. I
hate to say it, but I think it's Winnipeg.
Okay, so you're not insane. Lane, are you insane, or are you thinking where Dan's going here?
Winnipeg is the worst playoff team or the worst team?
Worst playoff team.
Oh, okay, I was like, wait a minute, what?
No, the worst team's Ottawa.
Okay, that's what
for our power ranking here, who would be the worst playoff team?
Yeah, it's got to be Winnipeg.
And I also think it's Winnipeg. So we kind of have Montreal and Calgary as sort of those. We're thinking, you know what, they're not bad teams, but they're not the best either. Is that fair to say? Like, they're good. They could go on a run. But we're not expecting it the way I think Hamilton, BC, and Saskatchewan. I think there's a lot of pressure on those three teams to win a Grey Cup this year.
For sure. Like, my thing with Montreal is just a rookie quarterback, right? He's never played a playoff game. That is a hiccup to me because Montreal's defense looks really good. Montreal's receivers, I understand they haven't had the best year statistically, but now that they got their starting quarterback back,
Tyler Snead's really been good. Like
we haven't really seen return on the MAC yet, so watch that for the playoffs. You know, Calgary, I think, is a really good team. I think Lane has a great point. I think BC's rolling on all cylinders. They look really good. Saskatchewan, of course, is the best.
But I'm going to say, I think that there's not a lot of pressure on Calgary. They went from being god-awful to making the playoffs and almost hosting a playoff game. So I think Calgary probably has the least amount of pressure out of the playoff teams.
I agree with that. And I will say, I think Nathan York, as a player level, probably has the most pressure coming into the playoffs because VA was told that Vancouver was his team and York was off holding a clipboard in the NFL. When he got tired of holding a clipboard, he decided to come back and then he took VA's spot, which a lot of players are still upset about that. Even when BC played Calgary, all the players are going back shaking hands with VA, which I'm not totally surprised with, but it shows you the respect that they have with VA, right? So Nathan York really has a pressure to step up and win a playoff game. Versus Alexander, I mean, he doesn't really have that much pressure.
Oh, Davis Alexander, I think, has pressure. He hasn't lost a game yet. I think in Montreal, I think maybe we're not putting a lot of high expectations on Montreal. I think the city of Montreal, they won a Grey Cup 2 years ago.
Oh,
and they moved on from Cody Fajardo. I think there's a lot of pressure on Montreal to at least beat.
That's a good point.
I think there's a lot of pressure on Montreal to at least beat Winnipeg.
That's a very good point.
I think if they lose to Hamilton, I think Montreal fans will be like upset. Hold up. Okay, we lost to a really good team.
Hold up. Talk about pressure. Winnipeg has all the pressure.
Well, the Grey Cup's there, but Dan, I don't think anyone's expecting this team to get there.
But this could be the end of a dynasty.
It is an end of a dynasty. And I do actually, before we get into Winnipeg, we said it in our live show previously, but let's send all our thoughts and prayers and good vibes to Chris Streveler and the Streveler family. He posted on social media, and by the post, I think he's half debating on just hanging up the cleats.
I think so.
Like, this is a really tough injury. It's the way it's his playing style, and he said he doesn't regret it one bit.
No.
But he plays football at a very physical, elite level, and it's very sad to see a good guy end his career on that note. But
even if it's not a good guy, it's just sad.
Well, yeah, it's all injuries are always sad.
To see someone lose their career, what they love, via injury, playing the way they love to play. It's just it could be a Walt Disney movie. It's a very sad story.
But we will have a full playoff preview show.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to guess on the Friday when we have more info on starting lineups, and because all the starting lineups will be out Friday. We'll have the injury reports. We'll have a much better idea of what's going on Saturday by Friday. So watch out for that episode on Friday. That'll be a live show that we will also upload to our Spotify and iHeartRadio and all that fun jazz.
Live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. So if you want to find us live and comment on the fly live, that's where you can do that. We have live listeners from all over the world.
But I do want to move on as we talk to CFL and the teams that have punched their ticket. But on the ice, we're nowhere near that yet, but there's still a lot going on in the NHL. And the Flames did get a big win on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Which is great. I said it going into this weekend. I felt that was a must-win game for Calgary, even though it's really early, because they've been god-awful. And they got a big win. So big ups on the Flames. But I'm gonna say this. If they don't continue to turn things around, could you see the Calgary Flames becoming a seller by mid-November?
100%.
I think Calgary, by mid-November, I think they got to go on a run and get close to a 500 record, or else you're going to see potentially Nazem Kadri and Rasmus Anderson both gone.
You're going to laugh at me, okay? So get the laughing track going. But if I'm a GM and I'm buying someone from the Calgary Flames, do you know who I'm buying? Obviously, Nazem Kadri and Rasmus Anderson were the obvious answers. But you know who I'm buying? Everyone's sweeping on in the league right now? Adam Klappa. I love this guy, Adam Klappa. I think he's got some real potential to be a great player. No, I'm not. I would still go after Nazem Kadri 100%. I love him. This Adam Klappa guy is nothing.
Okay, let me look up who this guy is.
He's a winger. He's 6'7".
Sure, he's a bottom six guy, but I don't see Calgary getting rid of him. Number one. Number two, if I can get Calgary to eat his half a salary in a three-way trade, you're going after Jonathan Huberdeau. That's the guy you're going after to hope you can recapture that top line magic on a team of top line players.
I think it's a bit of a Wicks.
Riddle me this: Jonathan Huberdeau to play with Matthews and Nylander.
No.
Why not? He's basically Mitch Marner.
If anyone from Calgary, it has to be Nazem Kadri. Nazem Kadri.
Now, mind you, Toronto was going to make a deal with Calgary. I do agree with Lane. I don't think Calgary's going to make a deal with Toronto because of Tree.
Adam Klappa's got 10 games. He's got a goal and 2 assists, plus 25 penalty minutes.
Man. It's going to be Rasmus Anderson, Nazem Kadri, and Jonathan Huberdeau. Those are the guys that are aging. You're not going to see them going for Connor Zary or Coronado. Those are the guys that I think they're going to try to build around. Backlund, you just extended and named it, and he's still your captain. But I think those are the guys that are potentially on the way out. And I still think a team is going to look at Huberdeau and be like, this could be the missing piece if you can get his salary down by 35-40%, which I think is doable. If you get him down to like an $8 million, but Dan, if you get him down to like an $8 million cap hit and he still puts up 70 points, you're quite happy with that.
I'm just not seeing it for Toronto. I would love.
Okay, maybe not. I mean, I would love him on Toronto, but realistically, the trade won't happen. But let's say I don't know the Edmonton Oilers, who desperately need a little more offense.
Oh yeah.
Put Jonathan Huberdeau with Connor McDavid. So you can move Leon Draisaitl back down to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Lane's so disgusted by this conversation, he's turned off his camera. He's just
even put Jonathan Huberdeau in Washington. Imagine him setting up.
Well, that's the big issue news too in Washington with their assistant coach being fired and the NHL suspending him for a year.
Yeah,
due to accusations. So obviously the NHL has taken immediate actions on that. Which
I found the timing very weird because I heard this term on another podcast. I'm going to say it here for SA. SA is the term. I like that term because we won't get flagged for it. Okay. Carter Hart got accused of SA. And then Vegas signs him. Okay. A day after Vegas signs him, after being accused of SA, they suspend this assistant coach for a year for SA. So, which one is it? Where do you stand?
Well, the NHL is really sending mixed singles. I don't think they're handling this well.
I actually want to answer Dan's question.
Okay.
Even though I don't agree with it, I at least want to answer it.
Good.
Whether you agree with it or not, and you can definitely have your opinion on it, at the end of the day, Carter Hart's case is over, and he's a free man.
Yeah.
Whether you like that opinion or not, whether you want to swallow that pill, whether you want to accept the answer or not.
Yeah.
By all legal terms.
He's
a free man. He didn't do anything wrong. He's about to go on his merry way and do whatever he wants. There's nothing legally they can do from keeping him from doing his job. Because at the end of the day, whether you work at Walmart, whether you work at Walmart, whether you work at the corner store, whether you work at the beer store, whether you work at Fortino's, if you're innocent of your accusal, they can't stop you from working at your job.
Well,
no, I understand that.
Yes and no. The NHL could have said he still went against their ethics policy, but they're saying the suspension was enough to go against the ethics policy because technically he was found innocent. Lane, you're absolutely right. I do want to quickly state, we are not saying these are opinions of the analyst desk that we agree with. This is just facts that we're saying about the case and the NHL and the decisions that have been made. These are no way near saying these are opinions that we necessarily agree with at the analyst desk. We are just saying that these are the facts and this is what's happening. We're normally about hot takes and debates. This is none of that. This is just the facts, and Lane is doing a phenomenal job at explaining them. But Lane, I just did want to clarify that, and I know you did say it, but I just, want to clarify that this does not mean these are any opinions of the analyst desk whatsoever. But Dan, that is the perfect way to answer your question.
I get that. I just give a lot of respect to someone like John Tortorella. Let's be honest. He basically flew his whole NHL career by not playing Carter Hart. He basically said to the GM, I don't care if you trade him or keep him or what, I'm not playing him. And that takes a lot of guts. And, we were all saying before how we kind of disagreed with Son Lemon coming back to the CFL because of what he did. Legally, Son Lemon is off the hook.
No, legally, Sean Lemon broke laws and did have to do community service.
But he's done those now.
Yes,
and even though he's done that, everyone's like, well, don't bring him back to the CFL. But I'm just saying, what's the difference here?
Well, there's a lot of differences, but I think we should just leave it at these were the decisions that the NHL has made. Again, the analyst desk does not necessarily agree with the decisions that have been made, and we are not accusing anyone of anything. We are just stating the facts of the situation. But I want to get something that's going to get Dan's blood boiling.
Ooh.
And this brings us to our second gas or ass of the episode. Ooh. Gas. Is it ass? Or is it ass? Gas or ass? The Toronto Maple Leafs should give Cayden Primeau more of a look. I'm saying gas. 2 games, 2 wins, no drama.
Joseph Wool's back though, buddy.
No, I'm talking about maybe Anthony Stolarz needs a break. He didn't dress in the last game at all. Maybe it's got to go Wool and Primeau for a little bit and get Stolarz away from the team for a week or 2. Just to get his, because something's not right with Stolarz right now. Because last year he was never calling out his teammates for lack of effort and then going out there and not playing very well. Something is wrong with Stolarz right now. I don't know if he's just exhausted, but there is something off about Anthony Stolarz right now. And I think until Joseph Wool gets ready, I don't mind giving Cayden Primeau another game or 2
hold on.
now.
Hold on a minute.
Okay.
Jacob?
Yeah.
You know what's wrong with Anthony Stolarz? He literally sees everything we see. He's been here for 2 years and goes, this team is crap. They don't do anything. All they do is lose.
Preach.
Boys. Okay. Let's say we were having a problem at the desk. Would we go on live and say, I'm not naming any names, but the guy in the Argos hat doesn't put in any effort? Or would we have a meeting and we talk about it behind closed doors? When Ryan Dinwiddie went to the media about things, Lane, you were very angry at him before it. Because you said, well, maybe look in the mirror and look at what you're doing. Anthony Stolarz has played one good game this year. William Nylander is arguably the best player in the NHL this year. You could make that argument right now.
All I'm saying is I understand it.
I understand the frustration, but then have those meetings behind closed doors. And ever since he's done it, he's played like poop.
True.
Do you know whose fault this really is? It's the media.
Craig Berube, too. Craig Berube keeps adding gas to the fire.
This is the media's fault.
It's not the media's fault, Dan. They're doing their job.
It's going to ask the stupid questions.
It's their job, Dan. That is like saying...
We don't know the answer.
Dan, if you're a car salesman and you sell someone a bad car, even if you're telling them over and over not to buy it, then it's your fault. Because you should have held them at whiteboard point and blocked the door and said that you cannot leave with this vehicle. Craig Berube is out there adding gas to the fire. Again, when Ryan Dinwiddie was doing this, you two are over him. And I said at the end of the day, Ryan Dinwiddie's won 2 Grey Cups in the last 4 years. What time in the last 4 years?
Won a Stanley Cup.
When, Dan? What has he done in Toronto? He has won one more playoff game than Sheldon Keefe. Good job. Want a cookie?
Better it's on a Keefe.
Craig Berube says the chemistry's not working. That's your job as a head coach, and you should have ran a better training camp instead of playing all these guys that you damn well knew weren't going to make the lineup and figured out these lines.
Like, that was my point when Austin Matthews only played 2 games.
Every game. We knew they weren't in this lineup. And instead, now you got Nick Robertson playing a Bobby McMahon and Austin Matthews because you don't know how to build a top line. And yeah, you're going to say it's because Nylander's banged up. But that's not the point. The point of the matter is the training camp and preseason is the time to figure it out. Montreal figured it out. They're the best team in the NHL right now. New Jersey Devils figured it out. They're also one of the best teams in the NHL right now. So no, Craig Berube says, I'm sick and tired of the chemistry not working. It's like when the teacher is mad that you failed the test, the teacher didn't teach. Go ahead, Lane.
I do want to have some I do agree with what you're saying, but I do have some counterpoints here.
Okay.
First of all, one, he's not the coach. He's a player. And, maybe he should have said it behind the scenes. But how do we know he wasn't saying it in the dressing room this whole time? Exactly. He's been getting run over every game.
100%.
This team is 0% spineless.
100%.
No, you still let me finish. So I'm going to finish my point, and then you can come to me, okay? This team, for the last 8 years, is completely and utterly spineless. They don't care. Yep. There's no effort. There's no intensity. And with someone, how do we know that Anthony Stolarz isn't in that room every period saying, come on, guys, we got to go. We got to play better. We got to play better. We got to be more intense. We got to hit. We don't know he's not doing that. So maybe getting run over 5 games in a row by the other team and then seeing Dick McCabe go like, oh, he got run over. Okay, I'll just go to the bench again. Like, no kidding, he's sick and tired of it. This is a guy who's won a Stanley Cup. He's played on Florida. Yeah. He's been in championship material. He knows what it takes to win a cup. He's literally seen it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You can say
100%.
He saw winning a Stanley Cup about as much as we did. He didn't play. Number 2, I was the team as a whole of not protecting the front of the net. He called out one specific player who has been your best player the entire season. Number 2, when you when you call someone out, you better damn well play well. And Anthony,
I agree with that.
One good game all year. One. One. If you look statistically, he's had one game where he has made more saves.
I'm not saying he hasn't been good. He hasn't been good.
He has been god-awful this year. Right now, Sam Montembeault is better than Anthony Stolarz. I can name about 20. Shilov's in Pittsburgh currently is better than Anthony Stolarz.
I can name
my point of the matter is, at the end of the day, if you're going to call out the team, you better show up. You don't see Vladdy Guerrero Jr. after game 2 saying, whoa, if if Bo Bichette went out and got a hit, we would have won the game. No, he said we need to play better as a team. That's a team that's in the World Series right now. And again, Craig Berube, when you say that he's not the coach, Craig Berube is the coach. And that's why I had 2 points here on Craig Berube. And right now, Craig Berube is doing a terrible job with Leafs media because all he's doing is adding fuel to the fire.
I'll read you a stat line here.
And so Jacob. I really want to see Anthony Stolarz getting a mental reset. I'm not even fully blaming him that he's upset, but I think maybe he just needs a mental reset and bringing in Cayden Primeau to play a couple games. We're not good in October anyway, so let's just get this out of our system. Dan, we're never good in October.
I just want to read you a stat line here. This is a goaltender that is worse than Anthony Stolarz. He's got a 347 goals against average and an 875 save percentage.
How many wins?
Which goalie am I talking about?
How many wins?
He's got 2 wins. Which goalie am I talking about?
How many losses?
0. Which goalie am I talking about?
You're talking about Cayden Primeau, but I'm going to bring up my point about the Grant Fuhr effect. Your goaltender does not need to have phenomenal numbers. You need to let in one less goal than the other guy. And right now, Cayden Primeau is letting in one less goal than the other guy, and Anthony Stolarz is not.
I wish we had someone named James Reimer
James Reimer is terrible. Am I saying Cayden Primeau is the long-term solution? Absolutely not. Am I saying between Cayden Primeau, Joseph Woll, and Dennis Hildeby, we can get Anthony Stolarz a 2-week break? Because they said he was in an ice bath for over half an hour after the last game because his legs were killing him. Let's get him a 2-week break, get him to reset. We continue our mediocrity 500 record, get him back, and then Woll and Stolarz can take over the net going 1-1-1-1-1 because that's when both of them are most effective. I'm not saying Stolarz is a bad goalie. I'm saying he's overworked and playing bad right now, and then he's having hissy fits in the media. So something has to give. And I think that what needs to give is you brought in Cayden Primeau because he's a serviceable goaltender.
Now, I have a question for you.
Serviceable is arguably.
This is a fair question.
What up, dog?
Whether we like Shanahan or not, are we starting? And you can definitely not like him, but...
Is this gas the last?
No. Well, sure. Run it.
Oh my gosh, where's the bump?
That's not the bump.
Gas or is it ass? Gas or is it ass? Or is it ass?
Well, I already know Jacob's answered, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Now that Brandon Shanahan is gone, the Leafs are going right back to the toxic personality that they had before Shanahan, where the dirty laundry got aired out, the teams go into the media crying about things because whether you like it or not, when Brandon Shanahan got here, he shut all that.
He didn't let this kind of stuff happen. I do agree with you on that.
You're getting traded. If Shanahan's here today, you're getting traded tomorrow.
You're right.
100%.
I'm actually calling gas on this. I think Brandon Shanahan, I didn't fully agree with the way he meddled with everyone's job. However, I think he did keep a form of professionalism the way Michael Pinball Clemens does in Toronto and the Argonauts. So yeah, I'm going to say gas on that. Do I think Brendan Shanahan needed to go? Yes, because he wouldn't move on from the core four. Mm-hmm. Do I think now someone needs to, as Dr. Seuss would say, run the zoo? Yes, I do. What are your thoughts on that, Dan?
Do what? If I didn't listen to the full question and just say, "Oh, Shanahan," I would have been like, "You're on like total ass." But
I don't want to be on
Lane's point. Shanahan was a dove man, and a dove man kept everything under control. So I'm going to say gas.
I'm very surprised that this Cayden Primeau debate turned into so much, but I'm absolutely loving that it did.
But lucky I'm not
it's absolutely insanity.
It's not insanity.
It's terrible.
It's not. I'm saying to give Stolarz a mental reset and a physical reset because
No,
the guy
you just
is
gave him
playing
all this
banged up.
great big contract. Wool was
And
absolutely
$3.5 million is
horrible
not a great big
last time he
contract.
dressed as a Maple Leaf. He shouldn't even be a Maple Leaf.
Dan,
This is
$3.5 million
team.
is not a big contract. And at the end of the day, if I can rest him to have him better in November and December down the stretch before the holiday break, that's more important to me than October hockey that no one's even watching right now. It's true. I mean, as long as the Jays are going on, no one's watching hockey in Canada. No, unfortunately, no one's watching football in Canada either.
It's just because Jays in the World Series.
I know. So I'm saying right now, this is the perfect time when there's no pressure on to give Stolars a break and put in Primeau and maybe give Hildeby a look.
But what do you guys think about this whole intensity thing? Like, I don't know if Jacob, you disagree with me, but just this team, man, it's so I can't imagine how you're lucky I'm not in the dressing room because I'd be throwing F-bombs around like I was 19, like it was World War.
No, Lane, I actually agree with you. I think there is, but I've said it for a long time. I think it's a leadership problem. I think Austin Matthews learned how to be a captain from arguably the worst captain in the NHL. That was John Tavares. And it should have been Morgan Riley's team from day one. And they didn't give it to him because they learned, we need to get the pajama boy, the captaincy. And I think the Leafs do have a real leadership problem, especially when a guy like Ryan O'Reilly didn't want to stay. I think that was a
red flag for me.
And I don't think they've adjusted since. And until they make that adjustment and bring in, I don't know, a guy like Luke Shen, who they keep getting and keep giving away for some strange reason.
I don't think Winnipeg's
going to have culture problems, right? Especially now. I think they might be shopping for a defenseman. Brandon Tanev going to be out for a little bit.
Chris Tanev.
Chris Tanev, sorry. Brandon Tanev is also out of Toronto for a little bit because Seattle wasn't playing in Toronto for a while. But other news in the NHL, we do have Gary Bettman, who says he is not looking at expanding the league at the moment, and he is more focused on more games in Europe. And I completely disagree with this wholeheartedly.
What?
The NFL games in Europe aren't even, they're okay. They're getting fans, but the TV ratings are god awful. They're losing money on advertising revenue because they got to play these games at 8 a.m. And I just don't, the NHL doesn't do as well in Europe because they have equivalent leagues out there.
See, that's where I disagree.
There is no other league like the NFL in foreign countries.
That's where I disagree with you, Jacob. I think the fact that hockey, first of all, I just gotta say, what Gary Bettman's doing is absolutely insanity. I think it's a stupid idea. However, I think because Europeans know what hockey is and they watch hockey and they have their teams, and a lot of their players end up in the NHL, and a lot of NHL players retire in Europe. I think putting hockey games in Europe makes more sense than putting NFL games in Europe. I do. Look at William Nylander this summer spending all his time in Italy, right?
But I just don't think it makes any sense because you already have professional hockey leagues in these areas. So I don't think the NHL is as big of a ticket there. It's kind of like when they brought an NFL game to Canada, no one cared because it's like, and people are going to laugh at me for this take, and that's fine. But we already have professional football in Canada for a much cheaper price. And I think that's what people are looking at when they're going to do a hockey game, and they already have the KHL and they already got the Swedish Elite League, and you have all these other leagues, and we're going to see
the Argus League with Czech League.
And we're going to see in the Olympics that these other leagues are not as far off skill-wise as the NHL, is what some people may say.
Oh, not at all.
And I just don't agree with these. I think the NHL is a good product in North America, but they still need to market it more because they're losing to the NFL, the NBA, and the MLB statistically in a lot of areas. Mind you, I don't think Gary Bettman's going to be the commissioner much longer. I think I give him another 3 or 4 years and then he's gone. And then hopefully the NHL can refocus. I think he's done a decent job in some areas, but then maybe the NHL can refocus on getting more teams back in markets where they actually want teams.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that.
Like Canada, like in
Atlanta for a third time.
The only reason why they're saying Atlanta is because they just built that brand new arena that's gorgeous.
I get that, but if you build I don't know, a ski resort in Las Vegas, is it going to do well?
Probably not.
Exactly my point.
But I now do want to head back to the turf. And obviously the Edmonton Elks season didn't go as planned.
Was this
in a lot of ways? Show? Pardon?
When are we going to break down the Elks?
We are going to break it down in a live show, Dan, but you clearly don't know how to read a rundown. There was
I was going to ask you about it. I'm not confused.
we remember what we did for the Argo one. We talked a little bit about it on the pre-record, then we did the live in the same week.
Oh,
So
okay.
we're going to do the same. We will be doing a live breakdown more than likely on Thursday evening, but stay locked in at the Analyst Desk social media when we confirm some times. But it was very interesting listening to Ed Harvey's postseason meetings. He's the GM, by the way, who said there are no superstars in the CFL, and then they lost their superstar wide receiver, and it kind of killed their season. But
True
it
story.
sounds like the Elks are parting ways with Niles Morgan and Trey Ford. These are two guys who they really thought they were going to build the team around this year.
I'm a little surprised at parting ways with Niles Morgan.
I'm not, because DeBlanco played so well.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't even know who Niles Morgan is.
Niles Morgan is the middle linebacker last year, Lane, who led the CFL in tackles.
Okay.
And second was the other linebacker for the Elks, which was Nick Anderson. Both of them have been injured all year for the most part. And
Nick
surprisingly,
player.
the defense was not the issue in Edmonton. So I am very curious to see.
Can we see the Argos going after Miles Morgan?
I don't, because he plays the same position as either Winton McManus or Cameron Judge.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's why I thought. Yeah, you can't get rid of those two. Yeah.
I think you'll see Niles Morgan maybe go to someone like Ottawa? I was thinking more like actually Ottawa, to put him beside
Ottawa.
What's his face? The party starter. Dan, help me.
Justin Party?
No, the party starter. He was on the Argos last year or 2 years ago.
Peters?
No. Oh my gosh. Anyways, it'll come to me. But maybe
Peters.
Ottawa. I was all going to say maybe Calgary, because I don't think Adam Bighill is going to play a lot more years.
No, I see Adam Bighill coming back next year. I think he's talking Peters.
Darius Pickett.
Oh, Pickett. Yeah, Pickett.
I could totally see Ottawa. Actually, I could also see Ottawa potentially going after Trey Ford to bring in some real competition for Drew Brown, because I don't know about Drew Brown next season. It sounds like that's the direction they still want to go with.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
But Lane, you said you don't know much about Niles Morgan, but you're not surprised about Trey Ford. So it sounds like Cody Fajardo is the direction they want to go.
Which I think
Listen to Cody Fajardo's interview. It sounds like he's more leaning towards re-signing there and not retiring. So what's next for Trey Ford, do you think? Like, where does he go from here?
I don't know, because I don't know if he's going to work as a backup. I still think, I know Dan thinks I'm crazy. I still think there's a way he could start on a team. Just wasn't going to work in Edmonton.
I think with the right offensive coordinator, Trey Ford could do a lot of exciting things.
Winnipeg, man. I'm telling you.
I'll answer your question for you. We're not going to know where Trey Ford's going to go until the playoffs are completely done and we see not if, but who retires. That's what it comes down to. If you have guys like Zach Carreros, Trevor Harris, and Levi Mitchell retiring, spaces are going to open. But I got a feeling these guys are not going to retire yet. But it really comes down to the playoffs. Let's say Winnipeg goes into Montreal and Zach Carreros plays absolutely terrible. Then he'll probably retire because he can say, oh, well, I haven't been right since the injury, right? Let's say Saskatchewan, who's had arguably a perfect season, and Trevor Harris goes in and plays terrible.
I don't see that.
Maybe he retires. Let's say Levi Mitchell, who I think should be the MVP and has led Hamilton to one of the best seasons in recent history for the Ticats, and he blows up, gets a terrible quarterback in the playoffs. Then you can see him retiring. I don't think any of those three situations will happen. But we're not going to know where Trey Ford goes until we can definitely say, yeah, these three are staying put.
Well, no, because I look at the teams in the CFL and I'm like, who desperately needs a quarterback? Even today. And I think the answer is Ottawa. You saw Ottawa have the most success with Dustin Crum, who's a very mobile quarterback.
Why do we just keep him?
Because I don't think they have faith in Dustin Crum to get them to the playoffs. So Ottawa, I think I could see them bringing in Trey Ford to give Drew Brown some competition. I don't think Trey Ford's going to go in anywhere and be the number one guaranteed starter, because I don't think he's done enough to earn that yet. No. But I do think Edmonton has made the decision that they feel Cody Fajardo can get them to the playoffs. I think that's the decision they've came up with.
I'll just say something crazy here. I just thought of it at the top of my head. So Tre Ford in BC to back up Nathan York next year because Mosoli will retire.
I don't see them bringing. I don't see Tre Ford wanting to go to a place where he has no chance of being a starter.
Imagine that two Canadian quarterbacks.
I think Tre Ford will want to go somewhere like Winnipeg with an aging Zach Collaros, or Saskatchewan with an aging Trevor Harris,
but
or Hamilton.
Not get with Jake Mayer. Jake Mayer's done an excellent job as a backup.
Jake Mayer's done okay, but it's not like you're confident that if Jake Mayer had to go in, you can go win a Grey Cup with him.
I don't know. He's looked pretty good in a Rough Rider uniform. I didn't like him in Calgary whatsoever, but in a Rough Rider uniform, he's looking pretty good.
Dan is officially off his rocker. He's taking the train out away from the desk. I'm just kidding, Dan. I thought in the last game of the year actually played pretty well when he was in there. Yeah. But no, and obviously we will be doing a full Edmonton Elk breakdown. Hope, like I said, more than likely on Thursday evening, because there's a lot more to talk about than just Tre Ford, right? There's the whole offense realistically and what to do with the defense that they have. I can't wait till that Thursday conversation because I really want to dive into that defensive line, especially. I think that's a group we can really break down. And of course, we got to do the Ottawa Red Blacks as well, which maybe that'll be this week. That might be next week because there's a lot going on this week.
Arguably, that could be the team with the most changes if they were the worst team in the league by far.
I think Edmonton, I will ask you boys this before we sign off. Out of the three basement teams, which is Toronto, Edmonton, and Ottawa, who do you guys think is the closest to being a Grey Cup contender?
I think it's Toronto.
Oh, interesting.
Are you going to Ticat jail again, Lane?
Possible. Oh, they're coming.
Why do you say Toronto though, Lane? Because they only won 5 wins, where Edmonton won 7.
I just think I don't know because I think if you put Nick Arbuckle with the Nick Arbuckle type offense, you guys would have won like 8 or 9 games, and then you would have been fine.
Yeah, that's fair enough. If they had won 8 or 9 games, they probably.
If you made the playoffs, if you made the playoffs, I'm saying it right now, I would have been terrified.
I agree with you. I think if Toronto could have gotten in, I think they could have done some damage. But honestly, I felt the same way about Edmonton. I felt like if Edmonton could have squeezed in, I could see Edmonton beating Montreal in a one-off game because they're built for playoff football. They're built for a cold, run the ball, pound the rock, let Justin Rankin be who he is. So I'm going to toss up between Toronto and Edmonton, but just because Lane said Toronto, I'll make interesting podcasting and I'll say Edmonton. I think their defense is really strong. They have a really good running back in Justin Rankin. They now have a stable quarterback as long as he re-signs in Cody Fajardo. I think you just need to clean up the wide receiver room. But Dan, who are you thinking's closest? I'm assuming if you say Ottawa, then the train's already gone, bud. You can't really take it out of here.
Well, I was going to say Edmonton because I do think if Edmonton started Cody Fajardo away at the beginning of the year, I think his team could have gone 10-7. I think his team could have been really good. I think Lane has a very good point about the Argos. I just didn't want to say that with my Argo blinders on. However, I got to say for Ottawa, at the beginning of the year, when we did our free agent show, I thought Ottawa was going to be one of the best teams in the league because they got out the big fist into Gene Lewis.
That's fair, actually.
Well, I think if Gene Lewis decides to sign back, or he's on a 2-year contract, so I don't know on top of my head.
He's on a 2-year.
I think if they have a healthy quarterback that runs their system from game one with the best receiver in the league, I can see them doing some damage.
And I will say, too, to Lane's point about Toronto, if they had just set up for a Nick Arbuckle offense for the whole year, this team may have been different. And if you use if you used up the full cap space and not leaving money for Chad Kelly to come back on the roster, maybe this is a very different season. And maybe Toronto is making the playoffs and Winnipeg misses the playoffs this year. Like the thing is, besides of Ottawa, I felt 8 out of the 9 teams in the league this year had the ability to make the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Because even Toronto, if they had just won a couple of their closer games earlier in the year, and if Edmonton had just started Cody Fajardo instead of Tre Ford, it might be Winnipeg looking on the outside looking in this year. And not even
we're
saying
having a
Winnipeg's
chat
a
about
terrible
Winnipeg and the
team.
dynasty being over.
But I'm not even saying Winnipeg's a terrible team. Like they still have a really good defense. They got a great running game. But let's be honest, for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, this has not been a great season. Now, if they go on a playoff run, no one will care.
Yeah, but for Verstappen, it's pretty bad.
But I think it's time to wrap up the show. And I today have the final word at the desk.
Yeah.
And my final word is a quote from me. So whether you're on the field, behind the mic, or cheering from home, remember, it's all part of the game. Keep it positive. Keep it passionate, because here, every day feels like game day. I want to get our little tagline in there.
Beautiful.
But it's just the moral of that is, let's just try to be positive people, right? At the end of the day, we're all trying to live our best lives, and we should just help each other live our best lives, right? So it's why we always start every live show saying no hate speech in the comments. And before you're about to say something that's really going to hurt someone's feelings or something along those lines, just think before you speak and be like, is this something that I really should be saying? And try to just be a good person overall.
Exactly.
But I think it's time we wrap up the show after the final word at the desk. Thank you very much for watching. I'm the self-proclaimed sports analyst, Mr. Jacob Moore, sports analyst, joined by Mr. Lane Dashing. Yeah.
The Cubs are coming.
Hamilton jail. He's going Hamilton jail.
Yes, the Hamilton jail coming, Lane, because you set the Argos.
No.
And the man who missed his train, Mr. Moore, for your money.
Woo, that's happened to me. It sucks.
Until next time, we'll see you back at the analyst desk, where every day feels like game day.
Bye-bye.
John Cena!